goal for 2025 is actually making sure I take time to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Like to actually, like if I'm in a moment, putting down my phone. Like I already talked to Emily about this like last week or something like that, and I was discussing, having certain time frames throughout the day for social media or for being on my phone, but then at other times just having it, away.
Yeah.
I think definitely when I'm out and about, out of the house, I want to be on my phone as least amount as possible, because out of the house that's where life happens. That's where a lot of things are going on, hustling and bustling and making memories while doing school and going to work and all of these different things. So I want social media and phone time to be less important to me in 2025, because we have scheduling apps, we have interns that we bring into the company. I don't need to be
No.
as focused on my phone as what I have been in the past, and that's the biggest thing for
Well,
me.
and there's a lot to touch on there. It's yeah, one, understanding who you are, and not allowing the societal expectations to get on you, even though, and not only just societal expectations, but your own expectations. I think that I had the problem for the longest time of, I was an athlete. I played football and baseball and basketball, and I swam, and I played hockey and I tennis, and having to understand that now that I'm older, the body's not the same anymore. You're not going to be able to be at the level that you were when you're 25. And not just because of the genetic issues, the health issues, just because age in general, you're not going to be able to do that. And I would be frustrated with that. I wanted to be able to compete at the level that I was able to compete at 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And so learning to just understand that everything that I do is progress. So if I go out and, if I do 4 miles as opposed to 10, or if I play flag football instead of tackle, or if I can, swim 10 laps instead of, racing someone or something. That's progress, and you should be proud of the progress, right? Don't overdo, don't put that expectation on yourself that you have to live up to something that you're not. And you brought up, about to head out of the 20s and, become 30 or whatever. I'm hitting a milestone too. I'm about to be officially a senior citizen. This is the year I hit 55. And at first I was like, but I'm actually excited about it, because I'm the only surviving person left in my family on the male side. I'm proud that I hit 55. I'm proud that I've got the gray hair or the no hair and the balding in it. So I want to start looking at it that way. It's like, look at everything that I've been able to overcome and accomplish. Don't look at it like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Oh my gosh, I can't do what I used to do anymore. Take pride in what you can do and what you've done, and continue to move forward that way. And so, yeah, I really like your approach. And we talk about this, and you know that I do this. I go off grid every now and then, where I will just put it down and not touch it for like a week straight, and literally the only people that can get in touch with me is people I allow, and that's only in an emergency. So I think going off grid, and even if you can't do it daily, is so necessary. It's definitely a part of, because like we were talking, with this whole episode's about progress, not perfection. And I think this every time you do this is putting societal pressure on you for perfection, because you're looking and all you see is perfection, because that's all that's put on there. Nobody puts the bad shit on there. Nobody puts a bad day on there. It's all about, look what greatness it was today. And that gets in your head, and you're like, well, shit, I didn't go on a trip today. I didn't accomplish writing that today. And you don't have to. Like, it's okay. If you wrote one page and someone else finished their novel, good for them and good for you. One page is great. It's learning to deal with that stuff like that. And I do think, I'm glad you brought it up, because I do think that living in the world of social media does add to the expectation of perfection, because you're striving every day. It used to be called keeping up with the Joneses, but it's basically keeping up with everybody that you see and all that they're accomplishing. And you just can't live life happily that way. You can't, because you're living a falsehood, right? So part of 2025 is understanding to continue moving forward on that path of living authentically and not trying to match what everybody else is doing, because you're not everybody else. You are your own self. And that's why we continue with the emphasis of same me.